These are some quick reasons why oftentimes neurodivergent, autistic people or anxious people are accused of lying when we're saying the truth in many ways. One is body language. We might lack eye contact and other body languages that people usually think of means that we're lying or not paying attention, or that my facial expressions might not line up with our moods. An example of this might be that we might be so nervous we're laughing, or that we might have a so-called resting bitch face, or our face might seem overly tired when we're really excited, or we haven't been able to change facial expression yet, so we meant to look sad, but we still have the happy one from 2 moments ago, or delayed reaction, or not mimicking your ones well. Now, all of these are awful messes, since people accuse people all the time of not paying attention when they're not making eye contact and stuff, and that's simply not true. You do not need to make eye contact to pay attention. See radio, see TV, see phone conversations, and much more. And a lot of people are making perfect eye contact and doing all this stuff are actually not paying attention. So it leads to misjudgments of who's paying attention or not, or who's lying or not. And the only way really to measure it accurately and not mess up and somehow discriminate against people or unfairly see people in positive light both ways is to see if they're paying attention to questions or stuff they're answering. Stuff like that is like a more interactive way of seeing people paying attention, which is really, really hard. And there's no simple way. Or you have to look up to the facts of the line, which we do not. It's really hard. There's no quick, easy way with this. Another one is infertilization. You don't think we're capable of stuff. Or a baby that's just lying. Once babies don't really do a ton of lies, really. But you look up upon so much that you just can't believe us. So you just accuse us of lying or other messed up things like that. Now, the way I want to promote this is that even kids tell the truth. Kids may not fully understand the situation, but they're telling their truth. So first of all, don't accuse your children of lying and manipulating you. And if they're lying and manipulating you, that's because they feel ashamed, most likely. And if they're feeling ashamed, they're not probably feeling like they're in a safe environment, and it's up to your job to make it safe. So you shouldn't do this to kids, but also stop being grown-up adults, and I don't care with all these different diagnoses, as children. Yes, maybe we're not at the same level as you, whatever that means, but we still have all that years of experience. And many of us have gone through body and hormonal changes. Many of us might also have specific areas that we know more than you. But it doesn't take us that much to know basic things like if someone hit us or is mistreating us, we might be the expert on that. And it doesn't require us to be some super savant genius or normal for that. So please, just stop infertilizing all sorts of people that you don't know and judging us based on abilities. Just keep an open mind to everyone and make it a safe space that no one's ashamed. My mind, not yours. So what I mean by that is I have some abilities that are way beyond the average person and most neurodivergent people. But there's other ways I suck. Awful. There's stuff that works for normal people that doesn't work for me, and vice versa. But people keep projecting themselves on me, so if I say something contradicting them, they think I'm lying. I can read super fast, despite my awful spelling and grammar and neatness. But people think I'm lying when I'm talking about my reading speed, or say that's part of my secret to some of the things I do. But I also have awful spelling and grammar, and then people just think, oh, if I try harder, that it's going to be so easy for me to do that. I'm just lazy. People think that tying the shoes is so easy when it's hard for me, but other things are very easy for me with like understanding certain STEM concepts. I'm saying very stereotypical at the moment, but it goes back and forth, and my reality is denied. Then people give me all these mental health tips about meditating, mindfulness that just don't work for me, because the non-active approach or the non-judgment approach doesn't work in such a cloudy, disorganized mind as mine. Instead, I feel like I'm drowning in a sea of nothingness. But I found ways that work for me that don't work for other people, such as running around and screaming around in circles in places, and a more active approach. Different things work for different people, and not everyone is like you. So stop denying the reality. And this also is, again, true for many minorities. Everything I said, body language can also be a cultural thing, different types of body language in different cultures. People infantilize stuff based on groups of people based on racism, sexism, and more. People also have other minds due to different cultures, might have different experience, or LGBTQ plus identities, or stuff like that. And I don't want to say limited. There's all sorts of different experiences with all this stuff, and it goes on for other stuff too. So don't, if I didn't include you as a group, doesn't mean that's not part of your experience. I want to reiterate that. Time sense. My sense of time is way off, in both that I can think something, feel like something is very recent that happened long ago, or the opposite. Sometimes I can feel like something takes forever that's really short, or the other way around, and I can have no good sense of time, and I can just stare at the wall for hours, but other times seconds appear to be hours. And I still don't have the months of the years memorized, and it took me forever to memorize the days of the years and all these other things. And it's just the whole concept of time and dates is just really weird for me. So that often gets people accusing me of lying, because my stories that I'm talking about, that my sense, the time doesn't match up, but that's because I myself don't understand the concept of time. So I'll be like, oh, this happened recently, or I will tell something very late or very early, and just weird things like that. I've appeared to appointments months early or months late, just stuff like that. And it does add up. Another thing that I have a problem is my memory, and somewhat related to my time sense, but my memory can be a huge issue at times, because I remember some stuff much more details than other people, and stuff much less details, and that can get people accusing me of lying. I can't remember tunes well, or music well, so people thought I didn't score as lazy and not trying. I can't remember certain statements well, numbers, string of random numbers, quotes, a lot of auditory things. But I have an excellent memory for a lot of scientific facts, for feelings, how I felt, and some autobiographical things. And then I have an awful memory again for things I have to do, and to-do lists, where it's sometimes called the prospective memory or future memory, because it's memory of stuff to do in the future, but kind of sounds very misleading. My memory of the future. But that often gets me accused. And also my memory is not something I can control as much. I have an excellent memory, but it comes and goes, and I can't control what I'm remembering at the moment. So I remember totally useless things at an important time, but I can't remember the important thing, and 2 seconds later I'll remember the important thing. This happens to me so frequently. I know it happens to everyone, but more likely to happen in weird ways in neurodivergence and gets accused of lying, because why can't we remember the simple fact that I could remember 20 seconds ago? Or something like that. I oftentimes forget, sometimes I forget my own phone number or simple numbers, or where I live, or stuff like that, and especially when I'm stressed. Another really messed up reason why all this comes to truth is has to do with anxiety measurements. And oftentimes how we figure out if someone's lying and how they teach cops and lie detectors and everything is by measuring anxiety, because if you're lying, you must be more anxious. But some of us are just naturally anxious. Some of us are dealing with really messed up trauma. Some of us have been through messed up events. So yeah, we're anxious. But it's nothing to do with lying. So the person that's tittering, stumbling, having memory issues, that's not stuttering, not looking at you, saying contradictory things because of anxiety. That's not necessarily a sign of lying, but we always take it to be. So please stop just accusing people off the bat of lying based on all this stuff that could be just simply anxiety. The last reason is that many people just don't want this to be true. They don't want to confront that they have internalized ableism, or that society is messed up, or that we need help, or they caused this fault or something. So they deny it and instead accuse of lying. This happens a lot, and it's bad. And it also happens, again, all this stuff can happen to the minorities with 6 and 7 especially. Again. And I hope you found this interesting, but please be aware of this, and everyone is vulnerable to these things. The only way we can really tell if someone's lying is to look at the facts, which can be quite hard at times. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard. With your help, I can do it. Also, help out the channel and also interact with me. Please leave a like, a comment, and in the comment section leave any questions, comments, ideas, or anything, or future suggestions or tips, just anything. It really helps promote the videos. And again, thank you very much. Goodbye.